Today we're making keto-friendly donuts, but not just any donuts. This is the PSMF Boston Cream Donut recipe by Maria Emmerich. We've gotten so many comments from you guys about this recipe. It looks super interesting, and honestly, I haven't had a Boston Cream donut in many years, so I'm really excited. And for those of you on keto who have not tried PSMF yet, I'm going to read you the definition. A protein-sparing modified fast is a type of very low-calorie diet with a high proportion of protein calories and simultaneous restriction of carbohydrates and fat. It includes a protein component, fluids, and vitamin and mineral supplementation. So basically, it's like a lower fat version of keto that people use to lose weight faster than keto. So the first time that Sarah and I tried out PSMF in any capacity is when we tried our first PSMF bread recipe about a year ago. Can't believe it's been a year. Time is flying by so fast. And we actually thought that that recipe was very interesting. And then we asked at the end of the video if anyone would like to see us do a week of PSMF, and we thought we would do it, and then we never did. So moving along a month later, after never trying the actual PSMF diet, after trying the first bread, we attempted the second recipe that we did on our channel, which was the PSMF hard-boiled egg pudding, which turned out way better than we thought it was going to, and it tasted really good. And PSMF is great if you want to lose weight. We've never tried it. Honestly, on our channel, if you're new here, we live more of a what we call technically keto lifestyle, where 70% of the time we're eating whole, nutritious food, very simply like steak and green beans or something like that. And then on the weekends, we try to have fun. PSMF to us is really radical comparatively to what we do, which is kind of on the dirty or lazy side some of the time. So that doesn't mean that I don't ever want to try it. It's just that we have not yet. So there are three components to this donut that we're going to have to make. We're going to have to make the actual donut. We're going to have to make the Boston cream that goes in the donut, which is like a custard made with egg yolks. And we're going to have to make the glaze. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get together the custard, because that's the one that has to sit in the refrigerator the longest to set. So we're going to be leaving a link to this recipe in the description. So you should definitely go check it out, because we're just going to be going over it really quickly. We are not the creators of this recipe. This is just the Keto Twins test kitchen where we try recipes that you guys want us to try. If we can make this, anybody can. And if we can't make this, you probably still can, because we don't know what we're doing half of the time. Anyway, so the first thing that we're gonna make, like I said, is the custard, and you're going to be needing egg yolks, unsweetened almond milk. You're gonna need Swerve, which is the sweetener that we're using in this recipe. And we're using melted unsalted butter. We're gonna be combining all these ingredients in a large metal bowl and whisking them together. We're gonna stream in this melted butter slowly so it doesn't cook the egg yolks. Now we're going to stir this vigorously and constantly for several minutes until it gets very thick, like a custard. Oh, this took quite a while, but it is thickened up. It coats the back of a spoon very nicely. We're going to stick this in the fridge for an hour at least. And now we're going to get to the donut part of this recipe. So for the donut part of this recipe, we preheated our oven to 325 degrees. We've lined a large baking sheet with parchment paper. We are going to add in all our dry ingredients and whisk them together first, which are our egg white protein powder, allulose, gelatin, salt, and cream of tartar. Here are our dry ingredients. We're going to add this to our egg whites that we separated earlier from the yolks that are in the custard, and we're going to start beating this until they are very stiff. I'm going to test Emily's beating ability by putting this over my head to test the stiffness of her peaks. Yeah, it looks like you have really hairy armpits right now. Really? I shaved, I swear. Okay, so here they are. They're looking good. We're going to be folding in some vanilla to flavor this donut mixture. And then we're going to be putting them onto a sheet pan. We have sprayed our sheet pan with some avocado oil. In Maria's recipe, she says that you should be able to get 6 donuts on there, and you want to put them close together. They should almost be touching. So that's what we're going to do now. Release! The first one came out. Am I supposed to grease this ice cream scoop? Maybe. Well, why? Why isn't this not working? Why? Use a large ice cream scooper to place 6 mounds of the dough onto the baking sheet. So here are our donuts. Probably didn't do the best job shaping these. I had some issues taking it out of the ice cream scoop, but here they are. We're just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna be putting it in the oven at 325 degrees for 15 minutes. The third component of this dish is the chocolate glaze that goes on top of the donuts. For this glaze, we're using dark unsweetened chocolate, a little bit of almond milk that's unsweetened, and a little bit of stevia. We're going to melt the chocolate in the microwave in 15-second intervals and then add in our almond milk and our stevia, and it should be nice and melted and shiny. Seizing a bit. So we're gonna fill our donuts. We're gonna cut a slit in the donut and stick our bag of custard in it and fill them up. And then we're going to paint this chocolate glaze on top, and then we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna try it. Here we are. It's been a journey. You know, there are many different components to this donut recipe, so it took us a couple hours to actually make these. So do you want to talk about what went wrong, or do you want to try it first? Let's try it first and then talk about what went wrong. Sure. How do we know that anything went wrong? I'm pleasantly surprised. The cream in the middle is running out, unfortunately. It's just not very thick. There might be something that we did wrong with that. I'm not sure. This is very reminiscent of the PSMF bread that we made last year around this time. The texture is the same. The chocolate is pretty good on top of it. It's more bitter than sweet. This is okay. I'm typically a white chocolate fan more so than a dark chocolate. The cream on the inside is liquidy. Tastes good, but it's liquidy. So let's start where we went wrong. Number one, I don't think that we built them high enough. That's Sarah's fault. It's not my fault. It didn't come out of the ice cream scoop. I had issues, okay? So we did not build them high enough, and there are only 3 donuts here because the other ones I stabbed through while creating the slit to put the cream in. So they immediately leaked all over the place. So now there was only 3 survivors of that. So we were half down already. So that was the first thing that we did wrong. The second part is we messed up the cream, or we didn't let it sit long enough. I mean, we let it sit for the allotted time that was on the recipe. We did put it in there for over an hour, but it just wasn't firming up. I'm not sure why. It did coat the back of the spoon when we tried it, so we thought it was ready. Maybe we didn't cook it long enough. The cream tasted good, however, it fell out of the donut. The third place where we went wrong was the glaze. I put it in several times to get it melted. I put in the almond milk and the stevia, and it immediately seized, and it turned into a paste. At that point, I started to get upset. Short of running away screaming from this house, I Googled what to do to save it, and it said that you could add in a teaspoon of boiling water until it regained its consistency, and thankfully it did. However, I thought it would be a smart idea to dress the donuts and then put them in the freezer, but I didn't realize that they weren't going to set up like normal chocolate, and instead that the almond milk would start to come out and form a milky film on top of our Boston cream donuts. So there's that. Is there anything else that we did wrong? That's about it. That's about it. It's about one thing wrong in every aspect of this dish that we messed up, which is it's normal. It's just normal for us. We're not professionals. If you guys didn't figure that out yet, you probably should know that before you subscribe, because we are just trying to have fun making these recipes, and they so happen to be keto. It's a 5 out of 10. It could probably be a 6 or a 7 out of 10 if we did it right, but I think that the components are there. The cream is good. The donut itself is very neutral tasting. Yeah. It doesn't taste like anything. So it's just like a vehicle for the cream and the chocolate. If we had made them higher so that they had more room to hold the custard and the custard was thicker, the tastes are all there. It's just that they just don't look that great. She lists out the carb count and everything. I think it said it was like 2 net carbs per donut, which is pretty good. And if you'd like to see the other videos where we made the PSMF bread, you can click right here and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins.
Signing out.